President Muhammadu Buhari has advised members of the National Working Committee of All Progressive Congress wishing to retain their position or aspire for another to resign and recontest in line with the party constitution. Buhari, who gave the advice in his opening remark during the 5th National Executive Council meeting of the party in Abuja, he opposed tenure elongation for the National Working Committee member. He faulted the earlier decision of the party's neck to grant 1 year extension to the party executive at all levels, citing a breach of relevant section of the party constitution as well as the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended as the reason for his action. Buhari asked the party neck to rescind the earlier decision as to not to give the opposition the ground on which to reap from the crisis which is likely to result from the constitutional breaches. The president told the gathering of the party leader that his position was informed by the legal advice he received from the Ministry of Justice.
As we all know, a motion was moved at the last National Executive Committee meeting of February 27, 2018, to the effect that when the tenure of the current executive expires in June this year, they should be allowed to continue for 1 year. This motion was duly carried by a majority of members present at the last NEC meeting, even though some of our party members have since spoken up very vehemently against it. Others have even taken the matter to court. On my own part, I have taken some time to review and seek advice on the resolution, and what I found is that it contravenes both our party constitution and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
He expressed the hope that the party's neck will resolve outstanding issues and reposition the party to face the challenges ahead. He said apart from the mass defection might follow considering the fact that some member of the party has taken the party to court to challenge the decision based on the understanding of the constitution provision. Buhari said he therefore believed that it is better to follow strictly the dictates of the party constitution rather than to put the party and its activities at risk.
In this circumstance, what is expected of us is to conduct fresh elections once the tenure of the current executive approaches its end. A caretaker committee cannot remedy the situation and cannot validly act in place of elected officers. Furthermore, I think if we deviate from the constitutional provisions, we might be endangering the fortunes of our party. If the tenure of our party executives can be legally faulted, then it means that any nominations and primary elections that they may conduct can also be faulted. This is not talk of divisions that would arise and is already arising within the party.
In a swift reaction, the APC, speaking through its National Publicity Secretary, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, said it has set up a small committee to consider the president's position. Those who attended the meeting include Vice President Yemi Oshibajo, Senate President Bukola Saraki, State Governors Ibrahim Jedam of Yobe, Aminu Masari Katsina, Atiku Bagudu Kebbi, Yaya Bello Kogi, Ibikunle Amusu Ogun, Godwin Obaseki of Edo, Rochas Okorocha Imo State, Sani Bello of Niger State, Samuel Otom of Benue State, Tanko Amakura of Nasarawa, and Abdullah Genduje Kano and Abubakar Badiru of Jigawa. Other governors are Rotimi Akeredolu Ondo, Aminu Tambowa Sokoto, Samuel Lalong Plateau, Nasir El-Rufai Kaduna, Mohammed Abubakar Bauchi, and Jubri Bindo Adamawa. The Deputy Governor of Kwara, Osun Zamfara, and Borno State, as well as a member of National Assembly, were also in attendance. Meanwhile, the national leader of the party, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, in a statement personally signed, he commended Buhari address at the NEC meeting. The former governor of Lagos State, in the statement titled "The President Has Spoken," said the address was straightforward, adding that it shows that APC was committed to the principle of internal democracy and the rule of law. Tinubu said President Buhari's action saved the party from the serious legal turmoil. If the elongation were deemed illegal, then all the subsequent party action, including the nomination of all the party candidates for elective offices, might also be questionable legally. According to Tinubu, the president has affirmed that APC is a party that adheres to internal democracy. Also, the Edo State chairman of the APC, Aslem Ojezua, described the President Buhari call as justified and democratic. The APC national chairman hailed from Edo State. Ojezua, why there have been speculation over the plan to extend the tenure of elected national and state officials of APC, such decision will be illegal as it was not backed by party constitution. From Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.
Benue State Governor Samuel Otom has again called on Nigerians wherever they are to defend themselves against any form of military attack, killings and other forms of criminal acts being perpetrated in the name of farmer herders crisis in the country. This is coming a few days after former Chief of Army Staff General Theophilus Danjuma made similar statement during a convocation ceremony in Taraba State. Speaking to State House Correspondent, Governor Samuel Otom, who was in the Aso Presidential Villa on a thank you visit to President Muhammadu Buhari for recently coming to Benue State on a condolence visit, said a lot of people are misinterpreting the retired general's position as a call for anarchy and indiscriminate bearing of arms.
He did not tell anyone to take arms. He only said that people should defend themselves. Of course, you know that self-preservation is the first law of nature. You can't just wait in your house and allow somebody to come and kill you. You can resist the person. You don't necessarily need to have arms. And I think that's what the minister was saying, that there is need for people to arise, to defend themselves, not necessarily using weapons that are banned. You can use a stick and disarm someone. Some years ago, I was able to disarm armed robbers with 7 AK-47 without a pin. I think that is what he's trying to say. And Nigerians should rise up to do this. Security matters are not left in the hands of just security men. It requires every one of us to put ourselves together and be courageous.
Governor Samuel Otom, who used the medium to comment on his recent face-off with some head of security agencies, which so many interpreted to mean he is fighting with the federal government.
I'm the APC governor. The federal government is APC. We have always been meeting, and I have said very positive things about this government before. I'm not retracting to what was said. The fact is what I had a challenge at hand, and I needed to stay with my people to be able to surmount this, because they were the people that elected me, and they first, Benue people first, before any other thing. You know, I have not had any strained relationship with the federal government. I had strained relationship with some security agencies head, not even the security agencies. And that is the point I was making. But all I was saying was trying to add value to the security of the nation by bringing my suggestion as a former local government chairman, as a former minister, as a current governor. I think I have something to add to the security architecture of this country that can add value and help us to do better than we are doing. There is always room for improvement in any setting and organization by buying from one person or the other, because nobody has monopoly. We must synergize, we must cooperate with each other. And so when you neglect this, and we have tragedy like the one we had in Benue State, it is not good enough. And people must be willing to accept advices, that especially the superior opinion that can help shape and add value to the development of our system.
Governor Tom also re-echoed the position of the Benue State government, which is ranching, noting that ranching will solve to a large extent the problem of cattle rustling in the country.
Like I keep saying, if people have better options, let them bring them on the table. For us in Benue State, that remains the global best practice. And Nigeria cannot be an exception, especially when the land is decreasing and the population is increasing. 20 million cattle in Nigeria cannot cope with open grazing. There is no doubt about that. And a solution has to be found, just like it is found in India with over 300 million heads of cattle, in Brazil with close to 250 million heads of cattle, in America more than 300 million. But yet, there have not been clashes like the ones we have in Nigeria with just 20 million cattle. So we must adopt global best practice and modern ways of animal husbandry. This will go a long way in helping us. And I think that for us in Benue State, we are winning because even Mayor Diala have accepted that truly ranching remains the best option. And we commend them and we'll work with them and see how our law can wear human face to ensure that we have a win-win for all. And we recall that the issue of cattle rustling is a very major problem to the cattle rearers in Nigeria. Ranching will minimize this cattle rustling. Ranching will minimize attacks on farm and encroachment on people's farm. And so we encourage everyone to work with us to ensure that we achieve that.
Benue State is one of the states that is worst hit in the current farmers' headers crisis in the country. From the ASO Presidential Villa, Abuja, I'm Festus Ejiroge Nefifen for Ben Television.
The rift over sharing of funds from the Federation account between the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), the major contributor to the account, and the beneficiary states ended on Wednesday morning with the intervention of the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun. An earlier meeting of the committee had ended in a deadlock on Tuesday, triggered by the alleged non-remittance of 37.76 billion naira into the Federation account. At the end of the reconvened meeting, the sum of 647.37 billion naira was approved for distribution to the three tiers of government. Of this amount, the sum of 270.8 billion naira was allocated to the federal government. The states received 173.75 billion, while the local governments got the sum of 139.9 billion naira. The oil-producing states got 57.85 billion naira on the basis of the 13% derivation, while the sum of 14.55 billion naira was returned to the revenue-generating agencies as the cost of revenue collection. The minister explained that the amount distributed represents an 11 billion naira increase compared to what was distributed in January. On discrepancies in figures submitted by the NNPC, Adeosun said she would be meeting with the group managing director to resolve the issue. The chairman commissioners of Finance Forum, Mahmoud Yunusa, said the state governments agreed to collect the available funds so that Nigerians will not have a bleak Easter. Yunusa said the states had agreed to accept the figures as presented by the NNPC temporarily to pay salaries and then later engage NNPC for further discussions and reconciliation.
There were issues that have been raised by the commissioners and indeed the governors on NNPC's account for this month. And NNPC has been able to explain some but not others. And so that process must be ongoing and is continuous. Some of the issues that were raised in December have actually been cleared. But of course there are new issues that arise. And I think that's a normal part of the reconciliation process. It's a healthy part of the accountability and transparency. The work that we did overnight, speaking to the governors, speaking to the commissioners, was to say, how material are these discrepancies or differences or areas of reconciliation compared to the overall picture? And we took the view that we should go ahead but still make it very clear that there are outstanding issues. And I'm sure within the next 48 hours I will meet with the GMD of NNPC or his representatives and we'll be able to amend them. But I think this is a healthy process where FAC and NNPC are asking questions and answering. I don't think anything should be inferred from the fact that questions are being asked. In fact, questions must be asked. That is what accountability is about. And at the end of the day, we are the owners of NNPC. It's a state-owned organisation, so it is right for the owners to ask questions. And it's also right for NNPC to give answers.
Very comfortable with the way this business is being run. So we will not take this thing further anymore. NNPC will have to sit up and state up its work. We will not take it anymore. We will not come here, spend days, and then go back without holding the meeting. So in the spirit of Easter, we will take this account, go back home with it, pay salaries, and come back to meet NNPC. To meet what we feel is the balance.
Awesome Raffle, Ben Television.
Lovely place, right?
Yes.
What's wrong? You don't look happy.
Take a look around. Why can't my hotel be like this?
I knew something was wrong, but I've got solution.
Solution? What?
Nanet.
Nanet?
Nanet offers you design solutions, building plans and construction, furnishing and equipping, financing, management, audit services, and many more services for a better hospitality business. Nanet, service with a smile.
The federal government has asked the People Democratic Party to go the org with its apology to Nigerians by returning all alleged funds looted from the public treasury under its watch during its 16 years in power. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, also challenged the party to show the genuineness of its apology through discernible change of attitude. But PDP said it did not loot any public fund, saying that the APC was the party that used looted funds from some states to sponsor the presidential election in 2015. Mohammed's reaction followed the apology made by the national chairman of the PDP, Prince Uche Secondus, at the party's functions in Abuja, where he asked Nigerians to forgive the party. He said the party erred in the past with the way he handled the internal affair, like imposition of candidates and impunity among its leaders. However, Mohammed said such apology was not enough. He said PDP presided over an unprecedented looting of the public treasury, perhaps the worst of its kind in Nigeria or anywhere else in the world. Lai Mohammed also reminded the PDP of a quote, "If you find yourself in a hole, stop digging," saying it applied to PDP at this time. He said, the PDP pressed the reset button. Stop sabotaging the work of this administration, which is packing the mess you left behind through your reckless statement and unfounded allegation.
In a bid to ensure that elections in Nigeria are done violence-free, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says it will continue to synergize with the Nigerian police for an adequate security checks before, during, and after elections. Chairman INEC Professor Mahmood Yakubu stated this when he received Inspector General of Police Idris Ibrahim at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. INEC boss, who noted that the Commission is worried on the increased rate of vote buying, called on Inspector General of Police to put his men on ground to ensure that the practice is stopped.
There is something that is extremely worrisome to INEC, and that is open vote buying at polling units. We have seen that in more recent elections. This is a violation of the Electoral Act, it's a corrupt practice, and you have the responsibility to ensure that this practice is stopped forthwith. Our democracy can never be on sale to the highest bidder. Ours is a democracy and not a plutocracy for the rich.
Professor Mahmood also noted that all is now set for the upcoming Ekiti and Osun States election, which is slated to hold 14th July and 22nd September, respectively.
In the case of the Ekiti governorship elections, based on the timetable released by the Commission, the notice of the election will be posted on the 4th of April 2018, meaning that the notice for the election will be posted next week. This is a requirement of the law that it should be done 90 days to the election. And thereafter, campaigns by political parties in Ekiti will commence on the 15th of April, while the conduct of party primaries for the choice of candidates will take place simultaneously with the commencement of campaigns from the 15th of April to the 14th of May.
Earlier in his remarks, the police boss assured INEC of the Nigerian police readiness to ensure that law and order are abided by all citizens during elections.
We are here as a continuous consultation with the INEC in the preparation of the coming elections. Of course, I want all of us to be aware that from July and September this year, we are going to conduct some elections in Osun and Ekiti State. So today I want to inform everybody that because of this continuous consultation and synergy with INEC, you are going to see our faces more.
In Abuja, LM Chukwemeka report.